Hi, I'm Hannah Ault. I'm a director of Valentine Clays, we're a clay manufacturer in the heart of the potteries in Stoke-on-Trent, and I'm proud to say that I'm a board member of the Stoke-on-Trent and Staffordshire Local Enterprise Partnership. Today, even more than ever, it's important for women to help to influence the economy. And today is a celebration of women locally that are already doing amazing things. And I hope that this helps to motivate many of you out there, many women and men, to step up and help our local economy.
I think some of the biggest challenges for women who want to grow their own business is, I think there are many. There are some practical things that it is actually often quite hard for women to be able to sell their business idea to finance organisations who are usually male dominated. I think that's a really big issue. I think the other thing is the whole issue about women's confidence and their belief that they don't, that they are often lacking in self-belief that they are going to be able to be successful in this business. And we know that's just not true. And that businesses who are run by women are often more successful, they last longer, they actually have a better return on finance than comparable male businesses. I started off, not many people know this, but I started off, I trained as a museum curator, and I was going to be the first woman director of the British Museum. That obviously didn't happen. And so therefore it has always been really for me trying to work out what it is that motivates me and trying to find the opportunities that I can say yes to that will enable me to fulfil what is important to me.
So for me, the piece of advice that I would give to the youth or particularly young women in this instance is to trust yourself and have more confidence in yourself. As you also move through your career, that confidence will continue the more that you achieve, but particularly to believe that you've got the capability and that no one can tell you can't do something.
Always lived in Stoke-on-Trent and North Staffordshire area, went to Staffordshire University and Keele University, and have worked in a variety of businesses within the area. I've worked in the public sector and in the private sector, run my own business, less so at the moment because I'm quite busy being leader of the council. At one point I've had retail businesses, but I've also worked self-employed as a retail auditor and researcher, and along with my husband I also own some property as well over in Telford. I've been really fortunate through all of my working life to work for some absolutely fantastic people, and perhaps rather surprisingly largely for men, and I've often found them to be some of my biggest champions and to say to me the way things ought to be, about how I ought to be more confident about my ability to do things. And particularly probably a few years ago, somebody took me to one side and said to me that people believed in me and that I had to really focus on things and really crack on with doing that. And not so long ago after that, somebody else said to me that a similar message around believing in what you do, having that confidence in yourself, in your own ability to do things is massive. So I think that would probably be my message to people, to believe in yourself, to be confident in what you do, and to push forward in doing it. We can say that we're lucky, but actually you make your own luck.
The industries that I work in are very male dominated, and when I first came in I honestly thought that the only way to kind of compete in that environment is to almost act like a man, and to sort of almost beat the men at their own games, so that I had to change myself to fit in. And I'll be honest, for years I burnt myself out because I was trying to play in a man's world, but forgetting actually the amazing qualities that women have. We have other things that we can bring a different perspective. But if I was trying to act like a man, then I A, wasn't doing a very good job of it, and B, was losing the best qualities of actually who I am. And it was that recognition, the significance of it is that it was when I started to recognize that, I actually started my career, I actually progressed a hell of a lot quicker than probably the first part of my career.
Seeking out one challenge is quite interesting, but I think there is one that is really relevant and very relevant to many women and young women, which is confidence. I think most of my team, if they saw me now sitting here saying that I lack confidence, would be laughing. But even today, I think that confidence of believing that you have a right to be working at the level you are is still something that I still struggle with. And I very much grew up and started working in senior positions probably in the 80s and 90s. So building that confidence has been really important. So I think my message is you have a right to work at the level you were working at, but be confident. You know, confidence really underpins a lot of starting up a new business.
My other advice would be, do you know what? Be yourself. Be yourself in the interview, and if they don't want, an interview is a two-way street. People tend to think it's about you know, obviously interviewing and you know, the company deciding whether you're right. Actually, an interview is for you to decide whether it's the right next step for you. And I think my biggest advice was just don't settle for anything less than what you're worth.